Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Broadcast.gg. It's your friendly neighborhood commentator, Bemmie, alongside with a new face for the community, Sunburster.
Hello.
And hello, indeed, friend. How you doing today?
Doing all right.
Good, good. Today, we have a great game for you. We have the Zenzerakin Gaming versus Resurrection, and I'm going to let Sunburster go ahead and introduce one of our teams first.
Resurrection Esports is a 3600 to 3700 SR team. They generally run a triple tank composition. Salt, Hanji, Infamous, Imperi, Wolf, and Optimize are their players. Hanji, Infamous, and Optimize are their tanks. Salt generally runs Mercy on support. Wolf generally runs Genji on DPS, and Imperi on Doomfist. Hanji runs Zarya, Infamous runs Reinhardt, and Optimus also runs Reinhardt. So it'll be interesting to see how those two play against each other.
Oh, we may also see a little bit of a quad tank triple support depending on how you count Brigitte. So over here on the side of Zenzerakin Gaming, we have an interesting composition as well here. Not a lot of information to go off of, but starting off, looking at the composition that we have here, looking at the DPSs, we see that Tea Time and Skepticism, one of them is only a sniper, so we're going to see maybe just probably the Hanzo Zarya combo coming in with Tea Time, and Skepticism will be playing a lot of flanking. On top of that, your offensive tank and your main tank is going to be Strife and Puddin. Zarya Reinhardt is a good bread and butter combination we have going on. Potentially with the Zarya, we're probably going to see a lot of that, and the Reinhardt maybe switching in and out depending on which the Orisa on the defense side if we're going to 2CP. And last but not least, we do have our supports, which are going to be Mercy and Lucio, ran by Cryptic and Big Papi, which is, not a combination you see every now and again, but I personally enjoyed the breath of fresh air in this composition. And we're starting off on King's Row. So what could we look forward to seeing in this game?
This is a very interesting pick for the first map. Resurrection.gg loves this map, even though they've only been playing together for a week. Hanji on the Zenyatta is interesting. Obviously, we just talked about him playing Zenyatta a lot. So Hanji on the Zenyatta, G-Operation on his comfort pick, Widowmaker, and pretty much everything else shakes out as expected. Wolf on Genji, Salt on Mercy, Infamous going with the Winston, and Imperi going with Diva. So we automatically see the double tank, double DPS, double healer, which is not their normal composition.
But it is within the meta, so we'll see how this unfolds. Double sniper is pretty good.
First off, we're seeing sort of not a lot on defense. We also see Infamous, or we're seeing Tweak sort of get behind the point, trying to get behind Resurrection. Resurrection's kind of just cleared off the point for the time being. It would be a nice chance for Zenzerakin to get on the point, but Infamous isn't going to let them. Gets Big Papi. This could be an interesting. Both their healers are down. This could be a point for Zenzerakin to pull back. I don't know what Tea Time was doing back there, way back in the sort of bend in the second round.
It was definitely an interesting choice and call. We do see a lot of teams falling back and giving a lot of elbow room to that point, which quickly they lose a lot, and the time bank is just excessively go up. It seems like a lot of teams nowadays will be focusing more on trying to protect at the second point. Does allow them a little more high ground to work with as defense and be able to flank around more easily. But hopefully, with this, they understand the necessary requirements to be able to hold on to those ults for a little more longer.
And especially with King's Row, getting that first point very quickly is super important, as Wolf goes off and gets one kill on the Blade,
it's deja vu.
The Mercy. Stage 2 gets Big Papi, so that's actually a very important pick But as I was saying, getting that first point very quickly on King's Row is really important, because getting the second and third points, the third point especially, is really hard if you get it in overtime.
Absolutely. So is a lot of relaxing positions for the attack side. Definitely, also on top of that, you have Primal Rage, which allows them to clear the space if they need to push back a little bit more if they're dealing with the contesting. And they do have the grab was just dropped Dragon Strike combo as well, so that does allow them win that team fight, but it's always too close for comfort, and they need to be able to focus on that sniper. Geo Patreon is, has too much relaxing space.
And Wolf has just been ripping Zenzarian apart. Only just got killed, gets another kill on the blade, and finally goes down to Sif. You see a Brigitte from Tea Time. So they're essentially going triple tank, triple healer almost. And she can rip apart Winston's very easily. As we're seeing from Infamous, gets wiped off the map. And Perry gets her mech back. As we see Rally come out from Tea Time. And that pops trans from Hanji. Not really able to get things done.
Ooh.
Very nice shatter from Sif. Skepticism gets Hanji, and
this is a really good hold.
This is a really good hold from Zenzarian.
Definitely
got 4 kills off on Resurrection. So Resurrection will definitely have to reset. Skepticism has Dragon Strike. Tweak will have Grav in no time at all, so that could be a combo. Cryptic is getting back on Trans. Sif is getting there on Shatter, but that combo of Grav and Dragon Strike is what you're going to be looking out for here.
Absolutely, and there's the grab right there. There's
the grab.
Drop it, and that's a good double.
And there's the Dragon Strike. Gets Empyrean Infamous. There go the tanks.
Yeah, and once you lose those tanks, you gotta fall back. This is such a close quarter, so the moment that the squishies are exposed, you're just gonna go down one by one.
Salt res Big Poppy res Skepticism, which is interesting. Skepticism dies again. Joperation gets Cryptic just before Cryptic is able to get Trance. He's at 98% right now. Sif has Shatter. Salt has Valkyrie. Infamous is also very close to Shatter.
Absolutely. And now they're just sort of kind of waiting right now to sort of win another fight. They do have the Earth Shatter, and that's roughly about it. They don't have enough firepower to follow up on it. They need to, rely a lot on Skepticism and Tea Time, hopefully to bash as well.
Ooh, we're seeing ultimates flying here. Trans from Cryptic. Saw Sif pull Shatter. Saw Wolf pull Dragon Strike. There were 4 or 5 ultimates pulled in this fight. There goes Big Poppy with Valkyrie. Cryptic switching onto the Lucio. Tea Time gets eliminated. Tea Time switched onto the Widowmaker. There goes Trans from Hanji. Once again, very nice hold from Zenzarian. There goes the grab from Imperi. And there it is. Resurrection gets all 3 points.
Good stuff.
Massive wipe there right at the end.
Absolutely. Good stuff from Resurrection. And I would also say Zarya Genji. Unfortunately, I think one of the things is that they dropped the support ults a little too awkwardly. The rally was dropped a little bit late. Big Poppy dropped what looked like the Valkyrie only because they were trying to get Geo, and because the Widowmaker wasn't being focused on. So the fact that the Widowmaker wasn't being focused on, they allowed to get picks from the back, and it was very easy for Infamous to just sort of charge right in with already most of the team damaged. So it was either just Geo, following up on kills or starting kills, and it was just a nice sort of back and forth seesaw between the tanks and the DPSs, and the supports were sitting in a nice little defensive sandwich.
And not just Geo, Wolf was able to pick Zenzarian apart real easy. So that was part of it too, because Wolf had 3 or 4 Dragon Strikes in that run. And the teams haven't really changed up compositions. Tea-Time going on Widowmaker, Tweak staying on the Zarya, Skepticism on the Hanzo, Sif staying on Reinhardt. For Resurrection, Salt staying on Mercy, Infamous staying on Reinhardt, and Perry on Zarya, Wolf once again on the Hanzo. That was so effective on offense. Hanji back on the Zenyatta, and Geo on the Widowmaker. We'll see if Geo and Wolf can keep up their effectiveness for Resurrection.
Definitely is a good, very straightforward composition. You want the double snipers, and there's no pressure left on Wolf to defend as the only sniper, or Geo as the only sniper, so it works out very well. It's very difficult to go against Mirror because this is exactly hero for hero, but if you pretty much don't give up a lot of space, then pretty much you can hold on to it, and you just need to make sure that the DPSs feel comfortable enough to take picks like that.
Immediately, Geo snipes Tea-Time. Doesn't look like Salt. Doesn't look like Big Poppy will be able to get off the res. Skepticism gets Salt as well. There we go. So Zenzarian might be able to clear this point. Sif gets Infamous. Skepticism gets both Imperi and Hanji before Tea-Time takes out Wolf. Big Poppy gets the res off on Scythe, and that clears out the point for Zenzarian.
Very, very, very good.
Very clean, very efficient. 5:30 left in the time bank for point 2.
They're able.
We'll see Resurrection sort of come back. Wolf has the Dragon Strike. Imperi does not have Grav. Sif is getting close to Shatter. Big Poppy is Valkyrie. There goes the Dragon Strike. Skepticism takes out Infamous. Skepticism, not a very effective Dragon Strike, but a very effective Shatter as it gets Imperi, Wolf, and Salt. And Zenzarian will be able to just waltz this payload right through point 2.
Absolutely. They were able to do this just because they had a lot of patience, and also they sort of fell back upon, once again, the DPSs. They understood that their job was not to try to push this payload as much as you can, and they weren't going super aggressive. They knew since they were going up against a mirrored composition and they didn't have any modulations, it's a lot harder to do that aggression that we saw earlier.
And there goes 3 ultimates for Zenzarian. Grab, Dragon Strike, and wall hacks. That's a team kill for Zenzarian on Resurrection. Woo! And Sif has, just look at that again, just such a nice play from Tweak, Tea-Time, and Skepticism. And Zenzarian's not done. Sif has Shatter, and Cryptic will be getting close to Trance. Big Poppy also close to Valkyrie. We might be seeing a similar situation here from Zenzarian, from Resurrection rather, real quick. Infamous tried to pull Shatter, couldn't do it. Imperi has Grav, Wolf has Dragon Strike, Salt has Valkyrie when she comes back alive.
Absolutely. They were not ignoring the snipers, which is so important, especially in a mirror comp like that, because it really comes down to the DPSs. And on top of that, they were sort of spaced a little bit awkward on, attack side for Zarya. So that also made it very difficult for them to be able to pull it off. So because they left their sort of tanks alone, and it made it so difficult to be able to win that team fight.
There goes that combo for Resurrection. Imperi pulls Grav, Wolf pulls Dragon Strike. Not super effective, only gets Tweak and Sif. as Infamous goes down as well. Salt is able to resurrect Hanji, and Geo is able to take out Cryptic before Big Poppy is able to resurrect him.
Yeah, absolutely. The Discord Orbs are coming into play. That's pretty much your job as a Zenyatta in this sort of composition. I do think maybe a little bit of a switch up in hero pools if you're running into stalemate like this on attack side is a good idea. Potentially a flanker, or maybe a switch up in some kind of different support, maybe more Radiant healing with a Lucio. There's a lot of potential in this because pretty much you're going to be going back and forth with the Zarya Hanzo combination.
Yeah, this has been a very nice hold from Resurrection as Wolf gets the Dragon Strike off. Isn't able to do a whole ton, but Big Poppy, Cryptic, Skepticism, and Sif all go down to Hanji, as Imperi also takes down Tea Time. So Zenzarian will have to reset with just under 3 minutes left to get point 3. A switch up might be useful here as Tweak and Skepticism both team up to get both of the tanks. This could work here with both the tanks gone. They might have enough time.
2 minutes
And Skepticism gets the gets Wolf as well. Oh boy, what's Sif doing here? Sitting right under. And there it goes! Gets Hanji, could get Infamous. There's Infamous. Oh my. Sif. What a play. Sitting right under the enemy spawn. Gets the healer and the tank to finish it off. We are going into overtime. Resurrection has 1:53 left on the clock. They will be going first. And it doesn't look like either of the teams will be changing compositions too much. This will be very interesting to see if the teams change up the composition after, 2 rounds of essentially mirrored composition.
It does make it a little more of an uphill battle. It's definitely sort of a comfort zone kind of thing where you just want to stick with what you know is currently working for everybody. But sometimes it is good to switch it up. They were very fortunate in the sense that also Crip was really good about prioritizing the Discord Orbs, and I think that was made the difference as they prioritized the tanks, followed by DPS, and then into support, because pretty much Big Pappy, if you're able to take out the tanks and DPSs in awkward positions, there's really no way for Big Pappy to res them without sort of sacrificing themselves, and then you're down 1 support, and then all you got is the healing orbs from Zenyatta. So that doesn't really make it sort of a win-win situation.
Certainly, as we get going, and immediately they start pushing. We see a Discord orb from Hanji onto Sif. But it doesn't really do much. Zenzarian holding very well at this point. The Zarya shields have also been a point of emphasis for these two. They've actually been doing very well with them. As Sif goes down to Wolf, Skepticism clears him from the top. He goes immediately right back up.
Definitely, Hanji was acting as sort of a second sniper, and unfortunately they did lose Salt, but it kind of works out in the end because that Zenyatta is so much the deal breaker for being able to hold on to that point for the side of Zarya, because they just weren't able to get away from the Discord Orbs, and once again, that's just if you prioritize your Discord Orbs and use your support rights, they can be as deadly as their counterparts.
Definitely, the Zarya shields and the Zenyatta orbs have been working in really good conjunction for Resurrection this round.
Mm-hmm. Resurrection.
Go ahead.
Resurrection definitely has the right idea, as since it's overtime and now they're about to drop in the Dragon Strike, and just holding on to these ults are just so crucial right here because it allows them to just sort of go as far as they need to go. They know they're in no real rush. They kind of have the upper hand right now, and they also know that they have pretty much a very solid defense if they're able to buy some more time, and they're going to be able to get that second point because they're also able to play aggressive. If you play your poison back to a little more with the Widowmaker, then it kind of actually helps a lot.
And Resurrection has Shatter. Salt has Valkyrie, which she just popped. That forces Trans out from Cryptic, which could be huge. There goes Shatter from Sif. And that clears out, that gets Hanji at the very least immediately resurrected by Salt. A team kill from Resurrection onto Zenzarian, a huge wipe, as this gives them a lot of progress on point 3 once again. And Wolf already has Dragon Strike again. As Imperi is playing a really forward position, it seems like.
Wolf's got to be careful as well. Wolf is trying to gather that information. Pretty much your Hanzo at this point, they're just trying to charge up the Dragon Strike as quick as they can if possible. Sif will go down, so that's pretty much a sign for things to come that this is the end of the push, but it's really impressive. As long as they don't C9, they pretty much got this in the bag of not getting to a third point.
Definitely. There goes the Dragon Strike and grab again. Doesn't get really anybody.
What?
Tweet gets got, Skepticism gets got. But
what?
Zenzarian are able to hold somehow. That's a C9. What? Bemmie, you just talked about it. And then it happened. Caster's Curse. Holy. Wow. Apparently Salt got charged off. That was impressive from Zenzarian. Able to hold it at the very last second.
I don't really know what Sif was trying to do, honestly. I didn't know where they really were. Like, the tanks were almost non-existent. I know that they were killed off really quickly. I know that Tweak was grabbed and killed, but Sif was doing fine, was healthy, but it was sort of in the corner shielding and not very close to the point at all. And Poppy had to drop Valkyrie just to try to contest as quick as they can. Unfortunately, it was just a couple seconds late, but overall, just the team was so spread out and there was a lack of communication that's sort of like so crucial, and it makes it easier to C9. It is easy to get lost into the chaos of Overwatch, but you gotta overlook that and be able to contest, because pretty much you see a big cylindrical thing in King's Row and you know that's the objective.
As Zenzarian attempts to win this map by not C9ing, Sif takes point as Reinhardt. You see T-Time trying to get up onto the theater, trying to get some picks.
Definitely is interesting that they're still running the mirror composition, except for Hanji going on to the Ana. I guess they're trying to play more for radiant damage and also stall time as well, because Sleep Dart does usually make the team sort of panic and fall back. They are giving that elbow room, but overall in the long run, the moment that Anji is able to lay one of those sleep darts on either Tweak or Sif, it's going to be so important. But Infamous going down does...
Infamous got annihilated. I think he had a Discord orb on him.
Mm-hmm. He did.
Just got annihilated by the Zarya beam.
Absolutely. It was very unfortunate. They are getting picks now from Geo, which is really... I'm shocked, and they're actually going to fight and contest this, which is even more impressive, and then the Dragon Strike, so they might be able to pull this out. I think what just happened is that Imperi was able to charge up very quickly and able to protect, so I think 100% Zarya charge is what came in clutch.
And now that they've lost both their tanks, that ends this fight, but Zenzarian are grouping up for round 2. but Resurrection have a huge ult advantage here. Salt, Infamous, Imperi, and Hanji all have their ults available. There goes Imperi's. Sif gets his ult off. Cryptic transes in order to keep the fight going. But wow.
They had to drop that much ults just to be able to get that point, which is kind of unfortunate. And now there's just There's really it's gonna be such an uphill battle for them to be able to take this win over Resurrection. Because they have nano boost. If you could definitely nano boost, like pretty much Earth Shatter, nano boost Hanzo, and then go into Dragon Strike, and that's pretty much the done deal right there.
He nano boosted Infamous. That's a quintuple kill from the Dragon Strike. And Salt goes down as well.
What?
What just happened?
I need to see this again.
What? This was insane.
Okay, well, unfortunately, that the Earth Shatter just kind of
missed everybody.
Yeah, it did miss everybody, and now they're able to charge up ults quickly, and this is sort of the impossible that shouldn't be happening. This should be Resurrection's fight right here, right now, but now they've also just kind of C9'd a little bit on the second point.
Wow. And Sif already had Earth Shatter again, was able to get somebody with it. Big Poppy over to res Cryptic. What? What is going on?
This is what happens when you ignore snipers, Sunburster. This happens, and then Sif follows up with taking out Imperi. So, really, this is going to be either a draw. We're going to see a C9. Or they're going to get their act together because Imperi's at 75% pretty much.
Oh my lord.
And there's an Earth Shatter as well, and they could drop the strike if they're able to do that. Why did they drop that right away?
Why? What? Why?
Infamous
there goes Dragon Strike.
They're able to
get Tweak and Skepticism.
Okay, yeah, there we go. So
there goes Grab
Dragon Strike just saved the game.
Did it?
It did.
Yes, it did. Oh, wow.
It spread out everybody to the point where like the squishies didn't really have any protection. So basically, with that Dragon Strike, you didn't see anybody in the kill feed except for like maybe one person. But overall, that Dragon Strike just sort of separated everybody. And when you're in that awkward position of where you can't leave the payload, but you gotta stay close to it, you just gotta try to eat it as much as you can. Tell all your DPSs to fall back and just regroup if you can. But meanwhile, you're doing that, you have your snipers in the back, like Hanji and Geo, Tea Time and
Skepticism,
just sort of picking off in the back, and they have just a sort of a nice clear opening with the high ground. So that's basically kind of what happened. That was the secure thing. I was a little bit worried for them because Infamous did drop that Earth Shatter early, which was very concerning because I thought they would have used that Earth Shatter with the Dragon Strike. But overall, yes, it is a close quartered space, and they were able to utilize that Dragon Strike very creatively. So in the long run, they're fine.
That was so many team kills. That was a weird game. That was a weird game.
And what's also interesting as well, if you notice with a lot of the other games that we've been witnessing as well, and just in sort of the general and hindsight of everything, is that we just notice a lot more. There's a lot more to ask of the supports nowadays. You need to be a super aggressive support. Like we've seen Hanji, and then also on top of that, Tea Time or Cryptic. Just working, not Tea Time, I'm sorry, Cryptic, working very tirelessly on the Zenyatta's because they've been also kind of like a third sniper, if you will, in the sense like they are the Brigitte sniper, where you have your long distance orbs. The range is ridiculous on the Discords as well, which make it a lot easier. Yes, you will die almost instantly as opposed to your counterparts, but it's just like it's kind of required. And then even then, Valkyries are used to just for the infinite ammo. Yes, there's chain healing that they do a lot of the time, or chain boost in powers if you're not using Orisa. But overall, that's kind of like a crucial thing as well. Is like I think there was a lot more aggression coming in from the side of Resurrection, because if you notice, Hanji was sort of on the ball with everything and sticking very close to the tanks, like one of those small fishes that you see under the fin of a shark.
Definitely. I think the Hanji and Zarya combination with Imperi was super important to Resurrection winning that map. And Zenzarian has picked Ilios as the next map,
which is fine, because we saw Zarya do one of the players here on the side of Zarya, which would be Cryptic. They enjoy Lucio, and this is definitely like Lucio's, hey, this is my home territory.
Especially on
do not come
well.
mess with me. Ilios on well, absolutely. And I would
there
say
he goes.
arguably, yeah, I would say arguably, even though a lot of people don't like to run Lucio on Ruins, or just like it's like sort of a 50-50 with it, Lucio is actually pretty great, because this is such a wall riding extravaganza, if you will. So it makes it very easy to do that, and definitely you can run one sniper here and a flanker. And really we sort of see in the long run, dives are just sort of the thing here. So you're going to be expecting to see, either an Orisa or a D.Va, and then you see the Winston. So if you're looking at the composition right now, I'm sort of stating what's on there. But if we weren't looking at it, that's pretty much what you see. Is somebody trying to flank, which is usually either going to be Genji or, Tracer, obviously. But, in the long run, it's a difference of supports, so we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, this is definitely sort of a standard composition on Ilios. It'll be interesting to see how it goes, especially after seeing mirror compositions all over King's Row.
It's definitely going to be a breath of
fresh air. Just kind of hiding out. Skepticism trying to sort of trickle that D.Va down. Tea Time getting Geo right off the bat. And the point goes to Zenzarian.
Absolutely. It was definitely a well-oiled machine for the side of Zarya, and I like that a lot. Skepticism was definitely a crucial part as well, because they weren't really paying too much attention to them. That was a really good pick from Geo, but overall, that was pretty much sort of the winning side. Unfortunately, Wolf, unfortunately Genji is very liable to fall to Winston. So it does make it difficult, whereas Tracer has a more easier time escaping the Tesla cannon. Oh my god!
Wow. Wolf, what were you doing there, man? Pulled the blade and immediately gets knocked off by Tea Time. And this play, man.
Yeah, they definitely that was really sick from Tea Time. And I think pretty much that is just sort of patience and diligence that only comes with time and experienced players. Really great stuff there. I would also say on top of that, there was a nice Primal Rage as well from Sif, and that pretty much fell back most of the team. So Genji was kind of left in that awkward position. It was either they were going to get picked off by Widow, or the rest of the team from Zarya was just going to pick them off. And this is a lot more effective communication that we're seeing here.
Definitely great communication, great picks, and great ultimate timing from these guys. Oh.
Pardon me, Zenzerakin. So that was a mess up on my part. But really good stuff. And there's the pulse bomb that's going to get Hanji. That is the life of a that is the life of a Zenyatta. You just kind of eat the ults and you just go like, well, that's my life, and I'll respond later.
And Salty just rezzed G-Operation. He's immediately killed. Infamous, it looks like Resurrection will be able to take the point.
They definitely will, which is good stuff. I would say in the long run that Wolf switching over to the Tracer, and now they got a Pulse Bomb waiting in the wing, was probably one of the best ideas they could have. And also on top of that, Hanji switching over to the Lucio, and just, once again, we're going back to the mirroring, but in all honesty, with that Winston, it was like two characters that would immediately fall, that have no real way of escaping that kind of damage, because even if you dash with Genji, you can still leap on over with him with Winston.
And we immediately see the Valkyrie from Big Poppy. Imperi with the pulse, with the Diva Bomb gets Cryptic. Wolf gets Skepticism. Ooh! G-Operation getting 2 picks on the Widowmaker and the Mercy.
The flying spiders no more. And
wow, that was a good pick. Salt going onto the Moira. Getting got so hard you have to change characters.
I like that switch up. Resurrections, you know, the spawns aren't really that far away from the point, so it's not too much of a loss, and the radiant healing and radiant damage, super great idea. And especially with that reach as well, you can definitely get tea time to be thrown off by that.
And especially with how fast Salt is creating ult charge, that might not end up being a problem for Resurrection.
Oh wow.
And we see Cryptic dropping the beat.
Fortunately, not going to be able to live much longer from that. Tweak doing a really good job, especially with the fact that, like, you know, it's good with the Matrix and here, and you just kind of just got turned around. Diva Bomb, unfortunately, won't find anybody here. Will do a little bit of splash damage. I think they were just trying to demech Tweak, because Tweak is, like, going ham right now, and they're very close to getting the Diva Bomb once again, and this could be actually the fact that they didn't demech the Diva could be the turning point right now. And also, hit scan is cool.
Tea Time is also just going off on Soldier. Gets the demech on Imperi. And that might end up being the key pick of the game. Right at the end, Tea Time on Soldier was able to get, you know, 3 or 4 eliminations right on the point.
Oh yeah, definitely helped with the fact that they had a giant bubble shield thanks to the power of Winston. They are, you know, once again, once you run dive, and you win that fight, it's usually, you may lose a couple here and there, but more than not, that momentum sort of stays with you until the very end. And, you know, I think on top of that, there was just a lot more responses overall that made it easier, like switching on over, you know, like, yeah, they switched on over the Moira, and there was a lot of smart calls from Resurrected, but in the long run, you know, sometimes you just gotta persevere, and switching too many heroes at once, you don't have that many ults to go into the fight with as well.
G-Operation switching onto the Reaper could be interesting.
Tank busting's really useful.
Tank busting, especially with that closed-in area, which G-Operation seems to be staying in on the point. It'd be real easy to get a pick on a Winston or a Diva.
Definitely.
There it is. Tweak's almost down to half health right now. She gets demeched by Imperi.
Might want to tweak that suit a little bit, because that shield feed is not showing much results.
G-Operation getting Skepticism as well.
Yeah,
as
definitely.
Resurrection gets the point.
Well, you know, it's 2 shotguns. Shotguns are great for close quarter. We're at Lighthouse. This kind of just is putting 1 and 1 together, and it makes a lot of sense. And now you're getting information from Wolf, not taking the high ground, but does do the echolocation arrow, which is really good, and not a lot of surprises. And now they switched over to the pharmacy. They're doing their own kind of composition, and that's kind of unfortunate. They will lose maybe 1 or 2 more fights, which will make it like another clutch win. So, it's hard because now you aren't able to charge your ults as fast. So you kind of made this sort of a handicap on yourself.
Certainly. Infamous already has Earth Shatter. Salt will have Valkyrie very shortly. G Operation will have Death Blossom in no short time at all. Skepticism trying to go around the back. G Operation immediately spots him.
Looking
trying to
good.
Trying to sort of kite around the tanks.
Oh, what the hell? Okay.
G Operation. My guy.
Yep, they
gets both healers and the main tank.
Yep, well, I mean, a shield only covers one side.
That's the fight, basically.
Yeah, but Skepticism does come in, and that's
gets
definitely a kill that you would want to get with a Death Blossom.
On to Infamous. And Zenzerakin are finally able to get the point.
Yeah, absolutely. GI Operation will probably be a little bit frustrated with this, especially with a great triple kill like that. But unfortunately, if you don't pick off the Tracer, that's going to be, when they're also at Pulse Bomb ready, that's going to be difficult, because pretty much Tracer is a great response to Reaper as well, if you are using it the right way. And now there's going to be a lot of team fights that go down for Resurrection or not. Because Zarya Hanzo.
Grav plus Dragon Strike is a very potent combination. There's point 2, and we're going to well. Cryptic's, I suppose, home turf. Get ready for the battle of the Lucios, boys.
Well, there's quite a lot of environmental kills. You got Lucios, you got Roadhogs, you got Orissas, you got Pharahs, and arguably even Diva if you use it in the right way with the charge. So there's and even arguably the Junkrat with the landmine. So it's just a matter of how they will utilize it. But it doesn't seem like they're going too much outside of the box. They're just going to stick with what's comfortable.
Resurrection going Infamous on Orisa, Imperi on Roadhog, and Hanji at G Operation. Come on, immediately get Skepticism out of the air. Skepticism gets revived, but man, if that wasn't a good pick.
Oh yeah, it's a crucial pick indeed. So now the environmental kill that could have potentially been utilized or make it a little more safer for the rest of the team to come on would have been great, but unfortunately that's not going to be the case. They are just going to go back and forth. Unfortunately, Skep will get the revenge that they need. And long story short, T-Time is the hit scan that they needed. There's no real hit scan except for, G Operation on the side of Resurrection. So that does make it a little bit harder for, Resurrection to take that point, unless they're able to take out the Mercy, which they just did.
And Skepticism also, G Operation takes out Skepticism again. And Big Poppy immediately reses Skepticism. Those two are just going to have to be hand in hand most of this map, I suppose.
Pokemon rivals going on.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It's pretty much a matter of fact they're gonna just stay back, so that way World will not be able to get any kills. There's a Justice, and unfortunately Skepticism.
Wolf just gets annihilated. There goes the Valkyrie from Big Poppy. Could be interesting because T-Time has Deadeye.
Oh, nice! Imperial will also go ahead and drop that hook, and that was really nice. And on top of that, they dropped the whole hog, which, they were backed up in the corner, which makes it easier for Resurrection to just sort of waltz right on in. When you have the Roadhog and you're able to get kills like that, you charge up your whole hub really, really quickly. And when you're kind of in that corner where you're just taking that team fight, you can turn the tides very easily.
No one can hide from my sight.
And Zenzerakin will have 4 ultimates in this upcoming fight.
Dude, really?
Not skepticisms. Geo operation, my dude.
Are we on Scrim night or is this League?
What? What is going on, man?
That's high ground.
And he had perfect shots in the Orisa and Mercy there for about a half a second. There goes High Noon. Doesn't really get anything out of it. G operation. McCree T-Time knows where he is.
Oh no, and Hanji. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I thought Hanji was gonna. Yeah, I thought we were gonna go see a boop right there from Hanji. Very ballsy from your support, but honestly, they feeling very much themselves because they are about to take the lead right now in percentage.
Skepticism getting 2 kills, and there goes the other barrage. Gets Big Poppy, so definitely a bigger deal than Skepticism's barrage. G operation. Come on, man. Come on. What is this? I'm like, come on.
I'm sorry, but the way that just sort of they picked off Tweak is just so unfortunate. It's just like you think the shield would do it, but like GI is just kind of finding all these awkward corners and whatnot.
Yeah,
really,
GI operation, man.
And like, you know, that's what you do.
Again.
Yeah, the pharmacy is basically, you know, allowing this high ground to be not, you know, contested in any way, shape, or form. And the fact that they're letting GI operation run around instead of trying to counteract it with, I don't know, a pharmacy of their own, or maybe their pharmacy isn't able to act quickly enough, or at least something that's like, you know, just another counter. They don't even have a sniper per se, except they had, you know, they had McCree earlier, but you know, they got rid of that as well. So there's not really much ways for, you know, the Double Z squad, Zenzerakin to contest this.
And a huge part of that was Big Poppy kept rezzing Skepticism. So every time GI operation got a kill on Skepticism, there goes Resurrection for 30 seconds.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. It's just when you ignore, they ignored GI operations so hard that that was pretty much the winning.
Come on, man.
And on top,
GI operations.
On top of that, also GI operations just knows the right answers for the compositions at the time, and that just kind of helps out for them in the long run. Because if you remember, GI operation also went on to the tank busting Reaper that we saw that was really good, got a triple kill, and then like the moment that he saw Tracer, he was like, my time is done, I'm going to switch back onto the Widow. And it's just so good. There's a great level of communication from Resurrection. Zenzerakin showed a lot more promise here on this map for sure, but I will also say their timing and their execution on hero switches to just like counteract altogether is lackluster, if you will.
Definitely. I hope to not see 3 hero switches at once on Dorado, which is where we're heading next. So this is one of the best maps in the game. I absolutely love this map. It'll be interesting to see how these 2 teams play out, because there's a lot of different compositions you can go with on this map.
Yeah, I personally like Pirate Ship because I'm just a dirty Bastion main and I like to hold left and sip on my pina colada. But overall, I would say a really
I want to see Pirate Ship. Personally.
Well, I think honestly we're not going to see Pirate Ship. I think we're going to be disappointed because they're going to go for pretty much the standard. And what's the standard, you ask? Well, my friend, if you like Double Sniper a first time around, get ready for another time around with payloads, as this is also a really good map for Widowmaker. There's so much high ground on this. And on top of that, you're also going to see on Dorado is pulled pork. It's actually really good here. Roadhogs throw off because the chokes are, there's so many chokes on Dorado that the Roadhog kind of throws off everything. The moment you break that shield, the Roadhog's job is to hook onto the opponent and just kind of throw off everything. You're basically, you remember when you were a kid, you went to your school fair and you would throw the fishing rod over and you would, somebody would put something at the end. That's kind of what Roadhog is doing. And that goal, it's a thing in the childhood. Don't worry about it. But like in the long run of things, it's what I'm trying to say is that if we see pulled pork, great. If we don't see that, then Reinhardt Zarya, and that's what we're gonna see, I guess. But there's also on top of that, when you're on attack, we're seeing dive right here, which is also a good answer as well. There's a lot of compositions. There's pirate ship, there's dive, there's pull pork, on defense, or just the standard, Reinhardt Zarya, and then dive or Reinhardt Zarya on attack is just sort of great answers all around. I'm rambling about tanks, but really tanks are just so crucial here. You base your composition around these tanks on Dorado because of how important to get through those initial chokes are.
And with all the high ground, with what Widowmaker can do here, if I'm Zenzerakin, I gotta stop GI operation.
Are we going to see Torb?
No, we can't. You can't. It's not happening. Yeah, no.
I hate
Hanji. Why do you blue ball us? Why?
I don't know, but Gio will make up for it. Definitely smart stuff from the side of Resurrection, or to try to take out that dive. Unfortunately, they will lose that, but team fights and just sort of getting that out of the way to make it even easier to get through that initial choke is a great idea. It will pay for it though.
And Infamous is just moving the cart. Zenzerakin's just didn't really try to stop the cart. They usually try to stop it at the choke right here. And T-Time got some shots off on Winston.
Ooh, well, definitely
That was a close one on Gia.
Yeah. Well, basically, long story short, it's easier to hold it on this choke than it is to actually hold it right away, right off the gate, because you have more control about who goes through and whatnot. Very good from Resurrection as they sort of let Wolf do, Wolf do their thing.
And
So
he has Dragon Blade right now. Got both supports. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for it here.
Yeah, well, he got both supports, and that
And
was very
he's
supportive.
He's behind Zenzerakin. There's one tank. Can he get the other? Yes, he can.
I mean, when you have
T-Time.
I was about to say something, but I'll just refrain from that. But long story short, Wolf did a good job. He did a good job being able to let them take that first point. The reason why that choke didn't last for very long is because nobody was really sort of tending to Wolf, and there was no real way of responding to Wolf except for maybe skepticism or T-Time, and then even then the deflex could come to play. And Big Pappy, I just basically had a big red target on their back.
But T-Time did just bait deflect, although it's back up from Wolf, and he just used it again for some reason as he was moving away from T-Time.
It's a good thing they didn't drop the Dragon Blade.
They had all 6 ults for a minute there. Did Resurrection. There's the grab plus Dragon Blade.
Ooh.
Imperi gets Tweak with the Diva Bomb.
It's an interesting call.
G operation, come on, just getting skepticism the moment he pops his head out.
Yeah, I'm getting quite skeptical if they're using controller or not.
Oh boy.
And, with that being said, the dive, I think at this point, they're holding on to these ults for a little, well, never mind. I was about to say they were holding on to this ults too long, but Wolf being able to drop
Wolf
was
Jesus.
really good.
Wolf got a 5-player kill streak just from that one Dragon Blade. Whew.
I'm glad Resurrect sort of kept the dive, because the dive was you know, it's really nice, and you know that high
It was
ground.
also-
you're
they were also
able
very
to
effective with
more
it.
Yeah, well, the high ground you're able to get with Winston a lot more easily than any other tank apart from Diva, and even then, like the tanks could work together, so you're not like left alone with just one tank. And nice job,
Wolf.
for getting that revenge.
Wolf used deflect this time. It was super effective.
Absolutely, all the Pokemon references. I love this, and a good pin too. That you know, that the defense is weak. The not in the sense that it's not super effective, but unfortunately, they're just not watching their sixes.
T-Time going with Brigitte, which is an interesting pick. Windbreaker's generally not super effective on the third point of Dorado, but
Certainly riskier.
certainly riskier. But, you know, GI Operation is a really good Widow, it turns out. So it's still kind of a risky pick regardless.
Nice idea to drop the Tranquility and then go for the Primal Race. It allows them to just sort of be able to push it and get very close to the point, or at least get as far as they can. It does make it a little bit awkward. I think they were trying to charge up ults as quick as they could. They were a little too comfortable with it, so I think in the long run, maybe that wasn't the best idea. I could see what they were trying to do, but you know, now they're going for the potentially the Hanzo Zarya at the moment that I guess Geo switches over to the Hanzo. Or maybe not, they'll just stick with
Geo
the
switched
Deny.
over to McCree,
Yes.
which is an interesting pick. Obviously,
Flashbang does help here.
Flashbang helps here.
It can definitely stop the Reinhardt shield.
There goes Dragon Blade. Gets Skepticism, gets stunned. Isn't really able to get anything else, and Big Poppy immediately reses Skepticism. So it's kind of a wash. There goes the Dragon Blade. Gets Impuri.
A lot was riding
And
on
Cryptic
that
gets
track.
Geo.
Yeah, they did. They finally, they're
They finally killed him.
Yeah, they did. They have a solid hold right now, and I'm very happy to see the Double D squad Zen be able, are able to do it. And they do have skepticism going on right now. Hanzo and Geo is also on the Hanzo as well, so now they're mirror matching for the most part. And I think honestly, I would side a little more with I would side with a little more with Zen because of the Brigitte, and it gives them a lot more protection.
Yeah, Brigitte's going to be a good pick here. Hanji has Transcendence right up there in the... There goes Transcendence as he gets pinned by Sif. And there goes T-Time with...
Ooh!
A very nice shatter from Infamous.
Where were you, Wolf?
And Wolf immediately gets got by T-Time.
That's unfortunate because
Skepticism.
that was too long of a wait to drop the Dragon Blade. That was a little bit of an awkward pause, and now they're running the double sniper, and
But can they get it done in 40 seconds?
I've seen
That
clutcher
remains to be
things
seen.
happen, and this is definitely a team to do it. This will be the last push they do, with the potential of being able to get the crucial ults that they need apart from the Earth Shatter, maybe. But overall, we're probably going to be paying attention to who drops the Earth Shatter the quickest, or if
Infamous
able to
even
drop
does
that
it.
grab.
There's the grab from Tweak. And Skep... Well then.
That Salt, he
That's
looks
it.
really cool
That's
in the
all, folks.
sky. So yeah, that was unfortunate. They kind of just walked into that grab. They kind of
Walked into the grab and Dragon Strike.
yeah,
And that'll be curtains on Dorado
yeah,
for round
and
one.
That was good on Zenzarian to be able to hold on to that for that long. That they kind of forgot about it, and they were like, "Oh, that's right, they had these all. I thought they dropped this already." But I think really what was sort of the domino effect of sort of Resurrected not being able to get that third and final point is we could. This is me maybe being nitpicky because I'm not usually a color, but I'm trying to deeply analyze everything here. Is that I would say if we looked at things here, it was Infamous dropped a great Earth Shatter, and unfortunately, Wolf was not there or did not drop the Dragon Strike, not the Dragon Strike, but the Dragon Blade on time, really, and just like everybody managed to get back. And
I wonder if that was a miscommunication or something, because there was a very long pause in the scheme of Overwatch from Infamous dropping the Earth Shatter to Wolf finally pulling the Dragon Blade.
It was certainly more convoluted than that false advertisement of a Torb being played earlier.
And immediately we see Hanji on.
Do you think we'll ever see Torb in Overwatch League?
Did he?
No.
There was once that it was played. I think it was the Houston Outlaws played Torb.
Yep, that would make sense that it would be on Nubani as well.
And that would be the Houston Outlaws. You have a pause.
Yep, because I want to talk about how great Broadcast.gg is, which is that they can help you prepare to be the best you can ever be, whether it's a broadcaster or commentator, and it's also the biggest source of networking. Recently, just yesterday, this was super cool. Uber was doing analytical stuff on reviewing some Broadcast.gg bots. So you're getting professional, free advice from one of the greatest Overwatch casters of all time. Just saying, yeah, it's pretty good. You know, you should totally, do this. Put more emphasis in voice. But anyways, if we're looking at it here, there is Big Poppy. Unfortunately, is having a little bit, I think, of technical connection issues, which is fine. But overall, we're gonna see not much of a difference, and I think that's kind of like super frustrating for me. Because I love seeing different stuff, and I think I could talk about a lot of things about this, but I think we said a lot in King's Row, so we're just gonna go ahead and take a quick break, real quick, while we wait for this technical issue to resolve, and we will come back to you with more OW.
I think I'm running this good, get stronger, and I'm not already brave. I'm trying to breathe, I'm sinking underwater. I'll try to escape. I think I'm running this good, get stronger, and I'm not already brave. I'm trying to breathe, I'm sinking underwater. I'll try to.
Okay, so we're back into this. Poppy came back. He had to get some poppy corn. And that means the microwave was messing up with the frequencies, but let's hope the communication is still there. And it's
another.
What? No! Oh, okay. So, the pauses are actually tactical in some way. They're doing this because they're getting Shiro, and that's all she wrote. No.
Shiro is actually a Zenyatta main, used to Mercy, so he probably can still do a decent Mercy. So I don't know if we'll see any tactical changes here, and we won't.
No.
Shiro immediately goes on the Mercy.
Why would we? All I can say is that this is where we're gonna see what happens if the fight for the choke works. They do. I mean, that skepticism right there. That was a great Godfather-daughter combo right there. Holy smokes! Okay.
Okay.
They're just gonna, yep, they're just gonna
Yeah.
ride on in. That was a
That
shield.
happened.
That was pretty much a leapfrog of shields.
I keep pushing forward.
And from Skepticism's perspective, Infamous dropped right onto it. So that was a bit, and Shiro tried to res. Skepticism couldn't do it. Very risky. Tea time, getting GI.
Tea time is definitely just sort of in that back, and well, basically that was nullified because pretty much both Earth Shatters was pretty effective for the most part, and I do like the fact that Infamous did get Skepticism, so that was great. I would honestly say that this is just the battle of the snipers because it's pretty much who can find the openings and nooks and crannies.
Yeah, we're not seeing a lot of sniper kills just yet because of Sif getting, you know, that shield up and about on Rhine. Otherwise, the snipers are kind of taking pot shots at one.
Well, the rally's going to definitely help that out a lot. Not all right, but here's the grab. And
Well, there's the grab. There's the dragon strike.
Yeah, that's going to be the team
1, 2,
win.
3.
It's
Team
pretty much-
kill.
Yeah, it's good stuff right there. Really, pretty much Resurrect. Their job right now is that Infamous and Hanji are going to be the ones that are sort of protecting. Bubbles do come into play here, but pretty much the Zarya is supposed to be sort of heavy firepower that draws a lot of attention while the snipers take out in the back, and then you've got the the Zarya Hanzo combo, and that's pretty much what they're doing is lather, rinse, repeat of that.
And Zen will have the Zarya Hanzo combo in no time at all.
Yes.
So we could see the reverse of this situation with Zenzarakin wiping out Resurrection.
I sincerely hope for Zenzarakin that they're able to do that because the payload, they're sitting on it and they're letting it push back. It's either they're just gonna hang out here and let them push it, or they're just gonna stay with the payloads the whole time, which would be very weird.
And Wolf is just kind of hanging out up top trying to get some picks. Salt's up there with him.
He is definitely the wolf on wall climb street. And there's that
And
reverse
there it
we were
is!
talking about. Sif is impatient as well. Just gonna go ahead and take out the rest of the team while waiting for the Dragon Strike. But that is really good from Resurrect. They pretty much wiped out so much of their time bank that now, if they go into OT, which
Now
they
Zen
won't,
has overtime. That's it, pretty much.
Yeah. 2 minutes and 30 seconds is not a lot of time to work with. You're pretty much trying to go through as much of the team fight as you can while you're going mid, and hopefully the high ground won't be used too well by Geo, and you focus on Geo as well because Geo is going to be the one thing that's going to be so crucial. And also,
Well,
Wolf as
Geo
well.
just picked off tea time.
Wolf did definitely, and Geo helped out a lot. So that was a double sniper action for you.
Double sniper so effective this meta. The double stun. And
That shield a little too early.
was it? And Sif was able to get Hanji and Infamous and Salt. He's coming after Imperi.
So we do see that hopefully Geo's going to probably hope that they're able to get a couple of pickoffs, but that was pretty much a solid hold. I think, unfortunately, Infamous was kind of let go of the shield a little too early, but there's the Dragon Strike, there's the Transcendence, and even then, that was even awkward timing because the grab didn't even last that long, but that's a good Earth Shatter as well.
Wolf gets Skepticism, and Zen just gets wiped out again.
And we're back to square one. 60 seconds left on the clock, and they're so close to that point, but they don't have much in the way of ult except for the grab Dragon Strike. So it all comes down to this, and hopefully a successful Earth Shatter. No support ult, and no way of easily gathering information except for Tea Time exposing themselves. So hopefully Teen Time will go around back and have a Widow battle with Geo and be able to win that.
Which it looks like that's what they're doing. GI operation, my guy. And Skepticism gets the Dragon Strike off anyway. Cryptic's able to get GI operation, but not before.
I would have loved to see that res word.
Oh.
It's very unfortunate, but they're doing a great job because in the long run, they got so much left in the time bank that the moment they win that team fight, it's going to be an awkward uphill battle for the side of Zenzerakin.
I mean, it's better than it could have been for Zenzerakin.
Yep.
No changes on either side, it seems. Tea Time has wall hacks right now. Shiro has Valkyrie. Sif has Earthshatter. There goes the Dragon Strike from Wolf. Gets Sif on Reinhardt through the Storm Arrow.
Yep, and that's it seems like things are going back and forth, especially with the res, and now it's going to be a little more in favor of Resurrect. I think, unfortunately, that's just kind of a benefit that defense has, and the third point of Dorado is that, you know, Poppy or Salt, in this case, excuse me, can just sort of go in certain areas and just be able to, if you have a good defensive line, they can just go ahead and res, and that just easily turns the tide of hard work from the attack.
And Infamous and Imperi have been a great defensive line. Infamous just blocked Sif Shatter. That could be a huge turn in the battle.
Oh no, C9. Okay, there we go. Cool. So they did drop a great Earth Shatter that was so crucial, and now Tweak is kind of gonna grab him, but no response. And there's the res, but the Dragon Strike is not gonna be able to come into the nick of time. So overall, this is that Earth Shatter was such a winning factor.
And Wolf just throwing off the Dragon Strike just for a little extra insurance. Resurrection wins the Rado. Currently 3-0.
Not,
and Wolf,
you know, an easy 3-0 though.
Easy 3-0, unfortunately.
No, it's definitely not that. I mean, like, that was super close.
Zenzerakin put up a good fight.
They did. Definitely. They absolutely did. I think really on both sides, there's just something about the ults and the timing that is just such a lack of communication from both sides that it kind of just, it's whatever. Like, they don't even, they can use the ults, and, you know, I think it's great. It's great execution, lack of follow-up, and that's kind of like what's hurting both attack sides as well. So it's like, weirdly, the defense is the better side for both, which we don't usually say about NA teams, but they're really good, and I think they're gonna go ahead and switch on over to Big Poppy back again.
And Cryptic left.
So the other
seems like, okay, Cryptic, I don't know what was going on with Cryptic.
Cryptic, they're probably going to be switching over Cryptic for, you know, their imaginary friend Larry, who is a great support as well.
So we're on Hanamura.
Hanamura, thank you for segueing.
What do you, especially from the compositions we see right now?
Yes.
What do you see from these two teams?
I see from both these teams at least some difference coming in from the side of Resurrection with the triple support, triple tank composition that we're seeing. And that's going to be probably a lot more effective in the long run with stun and whatnot for the attack side, because you're trying to get through that initial awkward push. But we also see that this is the very standard, you know, 2-2-2 composition for the meta that we see right now on the defense side for Zenzerakin, which works fine on defense, depending on how you use it. It is better to not hold a choke. It is better to hold at point a little more, and if you wanted to hold on neutral ground, you could, as long as the high ground was positioned well by the snipers, but that's about it. So it's a matter if the snipers can work well on defense.
And Resurrection just charges in straight towards the point. And we're just seeing Infamous sort of keep everything there. Charge. How did Sif already have...
That was fast.
How?
That was really, really fast. Long story short, that we can talk about how fast that charges all the time. That was just a lot of hammer swinging, a lot of blocking. But the thing about that team composition that worked is that was really good. They sort of kept the far left the high ground, so they weren't able to grab information very quickly. And the moment you're kind of sort of in that sort of hexagonal circle that you kind of made for your team, it's easy to sandwich and like take out the supports right away. So it was like, yeah, you sacrifice a marker, but you win the team fight, and that's really a good trade-off if you're able to just sort of keep it going.
And we have a switch from Resurrection. Hanji back in the Zenyatta. GI operation back in the Widowmaker. As the choke fight in the choke. 5-player kill streak as Sif gets Infamous.
Yeah, and good stuff on Skepticism as well, just sort of knocking on the door saying, hey, what's up, fam? Like, kind of here as well. And
he has Dragon Strike as well. Could
does have... Absolutely. He definitely could drop it right away. I think what they're trying to do is...
Tweak has grab at 93%, so we could see that soon.
We could see that soon, or we could see that at the very end. They have 2 left, which does make teams go like, we only have a little bit more to go. Maybe Earth Shatter and just power on through until we, until we do it for the last, and then that basically secures the team fight, and then all you have to do is get the first marker. That's maybe what's happening.
There it goes. And that gets nobody.
What?
Oh.
Okay, it's...
Skepticism is so lucky he got Infamous with that Storm Arrow. Massive shatter, immediately negated because Infamous dies, and then Zen just gets wiped out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Well, I mean, the thing is that, at least that was a nice little distraction for GI Operation to be able to effectively carry the team almost and just sort of do follow-up kills or just do enough damage so that way Imperi was feeling themselves and they were at 100%. So pretty much that's what happened. So I guess they made the best out of a bad situation. And they already got the first marker, which is why it's
big. And there goes the other combination. Skepticism gets Imperi and Infamous. The Dragon Strike on the Resurrection side gets nobody, and Imperi, Wolf, and Hanji are all wiped out. Imperi switches to Diva, Wolf switches to Genji. T-Time gets GI Operation, who's immediately rezzed by Salt. They're sort of grouping up over towards the far left side by the edge of the stairs, trying to where the point where you're jumping over.
Well, that's like a common team fighting ground. It's kind of what the hell happened. I don't know. I don't know what just happened.
What?
Okay, well, unfortunately, I think a hook shot was missed.
Missed hook shot, maybe?
Yes, that was exactly that happened. So that's a little bit awkward, but basically, I think they're trying to make it a little bit unpredictable. And going for the dive is probably a good idea. I must say that losing Salt though is going to be very dangerous, and pretty much Infamous can take out all the supports they can as long as GI stays alive. Thank God they managed to get back in the nick of time, but that was pretty scary.
And this could be round 1, unless Cryptic can get there right in time. Oh no! Oh my!
I love those.
Oh my God! Oh my God! That happened.
Well, yeah, that's the unfortunate part. Once attack lock down the point, it is so hard to fight out of it unless you have like Grab Dragon Strike right off the spawn. So that's going to make it a little bit more difficult to be able to persevere through that. So yeah, good stuff to them. 3 minutes on the bank. I would say overall, Resurrect is doing just fine. I would arguably say that on defense side of things, it was... I don't know. I would say, honestly, when you had a dive going on like that, Tracer would have been great. I don't know, just the meta composition of the double snipers and whatnot does not respond too well with dive, so you kind of need to create your own answer for dive. So when you go for the standard meta, it's like, unless your snipers are like god tier, which Tea Time and Skepticism are doing a great job, you know, sometimes it's just, that's going to be a lot harder because you have Diva and Winston running around all over the place, and they're going to be able to get to your snipers so quickly that it just doesn't work out.
GI on the Mei, trying to get up to that high ground, doesn't get the ice wall off.
No, basically they're trying to get Hanji into the high ground. Ice wall is leverage. These are weird Mei stuff. I just learned about all this
weird Mei
stuff. It's
stuff.
really cool.
Mei is just a weird character.
Mei as well, right? Anyways, so
oh my God.
What are we seeing here?
We are seeing a team fight. Tea Time.
They saw the information. They were like, "No, fam. Sorry." Okay.
And we're seeing Pharmacy just right off the bat.
Pharmacy's a little bit dangerous with Mei.
Yeah, definitely. A little bit dangerous with the Zenyatta. Pharah's just going to be your number one priority target. Of course, Pharah's going after... Tea Time's just going after Mei right off the bat.
And that Ice Wall will also do it as well. So the team kind of awkwardly came in like a Noah's Ark by 2 kind of thing. And that made it easier for the rest of the team just sort of gang up on them. And that's nice. I like it. Triple tank with double support and, you know, good old Mei wall to space out the team is just... it's awkward and it's not normal, and I like that, and that's going to be able to throw off the team even more.
And Tea Time's just coming through the top.
Yeah, Pharmacy is
Pharmacy's dangerous, especially since Brigitte can reach with her flail.
Ooh! Good stuff onto Earthshatter. Does not apparently work out because Scythe was left to their own devices, literally, with the Tesla cannon, and they're able to find kills. They are, however...
Primal Rage.
Yeah, definitely Primal Rage is going to be able to come into play. And I would say, long short of it, is that you're going to see the team fight while going back and forth. If they're able to take out this Pharmacy right now, it might be able to...
Scythe just had poor Salt in a corner and just beat the crap out of Mercy. Oh my lord.
I would say probably with just like the Reinhardt being able to just be able to roam freely and was just kind of left alone was unfortunate for Infamous. I think the team, I don't know, they just left the supports to fend for themselves, and that makes it a little bit awkward. And that was just kind of like one of those things where just, I don't know, too comfortable. They are 3-0, so they might get a little bit loose with their plays. Oh yeah, Blizzard's really good here too.
Blizzard's really good here. There goes not one but 2 ults? Question mark? Grav and Blizzard, which is an interesting combination.
Well, certainly you know they're going to be locked in place, and that's
Oh my lord.
yep, that's good stuff from Resurrect. They are, you know, they are paying the price though. They do have to go through 4.5 minutes to be able
4.5 minutes.
to be able to push through this. And while it's doable, it's just boring.
All sort of grouping up. Still going to go up top, as will Zen. Zen will actually go through middle. Which
Mid's
is an
probably
interesting
the
choice.
Mid's a good idea for dive because you can just go ahead and drop those ults really quickly. And especially on top of that, when you send the Diva Bomb off, it's a good idea, but that Deadeye will nullify everything, and that will be the indicator that this team fight is not meant to be for the side of Zenzarian, unfortunately, because when you lose your Primal Rage, you don't really have a way of clearing the field.
And Scythe and Tea Time are 3 hero switches. Once again, Scythe on Reinhardt, Tea Time on McCree, Tweak back on the Zarya. Oh boy.
Good hero stuff.
Good heroes.
I like
Is
the
timing right though.
Yeah, the timing is a little bit awkward. Skepticism should maybe think about trying to play distraction, go mid, and hopefully nobody will be able to grab that information. But there's the sound barrier, but that grab is going to come in and just wipe out everything.
Oh,
That is a really great grab. You know, well, I mean, Infamous was in no real danger because that Valkyrie was able to come to play, and it's just unfortunately it was just a series of trade-offs that didn't work in favor, and you it's kind of like playing trump cards. You just see who has the better ult at that time.
And you really can't fault Zen for what they're doing here. They're doing pretty like standard Overwatch strategies.
Yeah,
They're just getting countered by ultimates, essentially.
absolutely. And you know what? Sometimes the Zen is mightier than the sword.
Ay, Bemmie.
Yes.
That's dad joke number 6 today.
Try
12?
safety. I was doing some Hearthstone commentary, and those leave me a lot of puns. Anyway, so there's the res coming in from Hanji. So this is support heaven right here for Resurrection. Okay. But you know, there's the res right there for Poppy, and you know they're gonna be able to trade that off. The Dragon Strike is gonna be able to come in. It's coming at you sideways, literally. I cannot believe this. This is gonna be just an aggressive. They're trying to take this to spawn. Come on, Resurrect. There's no respect here. Resurrect lacks respect.
This is. Oh my.
Well, 90 seconds left on the clock. Do you think they're going to be able to get it?
Real quick.
Absolutely. 90 seconds left on the clock. Do you think they're going to be able to get it?
Nope.
Okay, well, good analysis with that.
No,
We're going to go ahead.
I just don't think so.
It's going to be. It's good. Well, they're not touching. They do get the first kill on it with skepticism. Hanji's going to not be able to drop that rally, so lack of armor might come in. Salt does bring that resurrection. Infamous going to be able to get that pin, but unfortunately, Tweak going to be able to be at 100% charge and push it. So I don't know if they're going to be able to.
The shatter and the pin gets killed anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Tea Time's going to be able to flashbang GI Project in their way, so that's pretty much what you got Tea Time for, is to stop that Tracer dead in its track. And it looks like you are quite right. It's going to be 30 seconds left on the clock. They are not going to be able to get this time around. But now, look at that. They have at least 75% on the Dragon Strike, and they're about to get the grab. So if they're able to pull that off, they may be able to be home free and clutch this into overtime. It will be a hard overtime, but at least they'll be still in the fight.
See, I don't know. Sif had the Earth Shatter. He had a great pin on Hanji on the Brigitte, and he still died.
Yeah, it is really difficult. Grab coming in there. The Valkyrie is gonna come in, and they got Chain on and back.
Once again, Sif gets a great pin and still dies.
Yeah, Sif is that's unfortunately a very memey tactic, is just go in for aggressive Reinhardt, and that does leave your team needing the shield blocking, but that's going to be pretty much
That's going to be
Resurrection
it.
taking the 4-0.
And this wasn't exactly a, far apart 4-0. This is a fairly even match. So the 4-0 to an extent is kind of surprising.
Well, also depends on how long the teams have been together. I don't think there was any information on how long Zenzarian have been together. No. So we could say this is a fairly new team, and this is just something that they're working out the kinks. And I think they have great individual skill and talent, but the fact of the matter is that they just kind of need to work out what their kinks are, which is pretty much just a lack of communication with all. Great communication in general, and on top of that, they need to start doing some more hero switches. They're too comfortable with this current meta, which is the double sniper, and also on top of that, the Reinhardt Zarya, and then you have Zen Mercy, and it's just, yeah, it's great, but it doesn't work all the time, and you need to be, a little more thinking outside of the box, which is overall what we can say. But we are on our final map, which is Lijiang, and this was probably the closest to winning map that they had apart from Dorado. So maybe they can learn from their mistakes that they did on Ilios and utilize more of the environmental here in Nightmark.
Certainly, there is a lot of environment, especially off to the one side, but the sort of closed off point has me interested in how Zen is going to handle this, because they haven't really handled sort of the closed off points very well, such as on Lighthouse. And we're not seeing too many changes. Skepticism on the Pharah is interesting. We're seeing Shiro come in.
Well, I already used that joke, so, let's see how this goes. She rose. Anyways. Oh, no, okay, so T-Time's gonna go ahead.
T-Time? Hello?
Okay, so T-Time's gonna go ahead and get both kills right off the bat, and this is pretty much a done dead team fight. The Fire Strike is also gonna get Hanji, which is pretty weird. I think overall that we could just say a lot of smart things, but, Widow. And that environmental kill from Skepticism is a kick in the teeth.
Just T-Time is just happening.
Yeah, but the thing is that also on top of that because think of GI operation was going on high ground, and that's kind of like a little bit awkward because they're the only ones to go into it. So T-Time was smart and sort of waited it out and saw that they were going to be able to, it's like, if there's anybody that's going to be coming from there, it's definitely going to be the Widow, and lo and behold, that's what it was.
Wolf's finally able to get T-Time. But Resurrection still has the point.
Resurrection does have the point, and the Pulse Bomb's going to be able to do that. Wolf, it's a great idea. The dive switch up, I'm really digging. Hanji's nice little follow-up, and Happy's got to fall back, so good stuff onto Zenzarian to be able to take this point a lot earlier as opposed to the 99-99s that we've been seeing.
No one can hide from my sight.
And, we saw it again, kind of.
This?
Zen just keeps getting countered by better play, essentially. They keep doing everything right, and then Resurrection says, yeah, well, no. You're not getting the point.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, Zen is a very hand-holdy, kind of can't leave intended kind of hero. They're very good, but they also are very lacking in mobility, so you just kind of leave a very exposed support that is very crucial to your team and that you put a lot of faith in to take care of whatever flanking in the back, which you shouldn't, by the way, because they die immediately to any ult, that just brushes their shoulder.
This is not your time.
And Resurrection also has 4 ults coming up. They'll have a 5th. Infamous almost has Primal Rage. But so does Zen.
And the rally's,
Hanji pops rally.
so the rally's gonna come in, and this is looking very good. Demon Bomb.
There goes Spear with nerf. This gets Big Poppy. That's a big pick.
Yeah, actually, that's well put. They definitely
And
did that. Oh,
Could
wow.
get Sif very shortly.
Or not.
Shiro pops trans, which probably saved his life. And Imperi just kind of went off the edge.
Well, yeah, they wanted to regroup quickly enough because it's better. Because like the moment that they're gonna demech the diva, they're just gonna
Play
play with
in.
their food because they want to make it an
They
awkward.
want to stagger.
Yeah, exactly. So this is good stuff from Resurrection, and Tea Times now has that high ground, and all they gotta worry about is that making sure that, I don't know, Wolf doesn't, you know, surprise pulse bomb them or whatever.
And Imperi switching onto the Roadhog is interesting.
Oh,
That matters because they just got a quad kill.
yeah, that Big Poppy must be thanking everybody so much because that was scary. I saw the
That
whole
was-
connect, and then everybody was like, "No, you don't."
That was a good play right there to end it with the grav, getting everybody.
I hope they show their gratitude towards their Zarya player.
We're on Control Center. This is a really good map for Reinhardt. So we could see, and we see Infamous switch to Reinhardt. So these two could have a field day.
They could, and also the fact that we also need to pay attention to DPS's GI operation. This is going to be a great map for them because they run Reaper. Reaper's good here, as well as McCree. McCree is also good, and the flashbangs are going to be basically a great way of indicating. Tea Time is also going to be really good here, as this is obviously because that wall fire is just going to keep everything flowing.
Tea Time is just knocking Hanji around, gets him. We're getting killed by GI operation. Zen doing a really good job of pushing Resurrection back.
Yeah, they're really pushing it. So they're at 10%, and overall we kind of just gonna wait to see Tea Time just Riptire, and what you're gonna see is when they drop Riptire, they're gonna probably focus on the supports, because the moment they take out supports, they have to fall back.
That's one support, gets Salt while she's Valkyrie.
No need for Riptire, and
No need for Riptire because Wolf had Dragon Strike.
yeah, well, all right. I mean, 35% is pretty good on the board. I think unfortunately, the thing is that Scythe was too engrossed in the fight that, you know, at that time, it's just so hard to. It is a matter of interpretation, but I feel like the timing on when to block and when to deal damage is a little bit inaccurate.
Here's the Riptire.
Because you have to make sure that you're protecting. You gotta make sure that protecting. Otherwise, they are gonna go down and not be able to protect you. And there's that awkward position that is unresable.
Hammer down from Infamous. He's able to get his counterpart. Can't really get much else. There's the grab plus Dragon Strike combo. Gets Skepticism, Big Poppy, and Tweak. And Zen's just gonna have to sort of regroup here.
Well, I mean, they're holding on to the point a lot longer, and we did see that it was 1-for-1 last map, so potentially this may be the map that they take the win on, and we may be hopefully going into Garden Center, which would be super cool, but we'll have to wait and see, because that Earth Shatter is going to be depicting on whether this fight's going to last for a little bit longer. Scythe going around and not being with the group as well is very, very dangerous.
Able to get you operation, but he's trying to gets the Earth Shatter off. Imperi has to grab in response. Scythe gets pinned. Infamous is on low health, getting healed by the Zen.
Ooh, there we go. Salt's gonna go down, and that's gonna be the opening. It's gonna be very interesting if they're able to turn this around, but they're so spread out, so apart that it's gonna be really hard to pull through. They're just kind of like having to drop ults to keep everything alive. They did bring it down Infamous, so that might be able to open it if they're able to take out Imperi right away.
And Salt pulled
A Battle Mercy. Okay.
Battle Mercy. He's able to get the Resurrection off on Wolf.
Wow, they've really dropped all their ults for that. Okay, that's fine.
I mean, it was the end of the. It was the end.
That's
of the,
true. That's true.
The end of the map. It would be the last team fight.
For whatever reason, for a second, I had it. Oh. You know, they have to flip it, but never mind. That was, excuse my ignorance. I'm totally color off. But I mean, good stuff there. They did use a lot of left lane to just sort of be able to utilize the high ground, if you will, and they just really kept Resurrection sort of spread apart. And Scythe was so busy protecting themselves, as opposed to like trusting your supports and letting the Zarya do the 100% hard work that just kind of fell apart.
Skepticism kind of going for the bridge, but Imperi's gonna eat up the rockets with the defense matrix.
Ooh, and that's a great opening from T-Time as well to get GI operation. But
And Infamous gets Big Poppy with the bounce, so that'll be, it could be an opening for Resurrection to start off with this point.
you would hope. GI operation, I also like the fact that the poison backed it. That's really nice, especially you gotta be careful when you see that tracer coming around. You just gotta put it in the back of your fam, so that way you don't feel too worried. So you can get notified, collect, and it's easier to collect information. Like, Twitter is so useful for collecting information. That's sick.
Jeez, oh my god. And that's not something Big Poppy will be able to res either.
No, absolutely not. Zenzerakin have a little bit of an uphill battle going on right now.
And Big Poppy goes down again to Wolf. There goes wall hacks from GI operation.
And this is getting a little too comfy that they just went ahead and dropped that Diva Bomb, but that's okay. They dropped the, like, you know, they're taking the fight to spawn, and it's just, they're, I don't know, it's not tactical, it's just pretty much tactical crouching, if you will, as some people would say in the Overwatch League.
And
I do
Wolf
like the
had
switch over to Genji, though.
Finally, GI operation gets booped off. Oh, it's a little risky, standing on that bridge.
Absolutely. Well, they didn't have a lot to respond with it, so they probably got comfortable that way. But overall, that's skepticism is carrying them right now, and I think that's very important to recognize, because that Genji is usually a better hero for more like close quarter, where you see Tracer for flanking larger maps, because if we saw at Ruins, we saw that Tracer was able to just gather information quickly and be able to flank around, and it was hard for the team to counteract. But because in closer situations, because of Dragon Blade and just how the way like Genji moves like a ping pong ball, it makes it easier for him to just sort of bounce between wall to wall and be able to get that momentum.
And we are just seeing so many ults in this fight. Skepticism gets 2, could get a 3rd. No, he doesn't. He nearly got away from his life. Got Salt before being killed by Scythe. Being killed by Infamous, rather.
And may as well go ahead and take that tea break right now. Infamous will go ahead and take them out. I like this. This is a lot more back and forth, so I definitely appreciate that. And Tweak just sort of pushing them out does allow them to contest it a little bit longer, but I think they should have held on to the Deep Bomb just onto it for even more, because they did have that point at that time.
And Infamous is playing very aggressively with the Winston, which I suppose is something you should do. Jumps right back.
Absolutely. 90% is left, so GI just found tea time, and that's kind of like one team member down. I do like the fact that dives are being played here. It's very effective. GI is trying to run with their lives, but like, overall, in the long run, look at that. They have so much of an ult advantage, and they have like just able to charge it quickly, and skepticism going down doesn't really help the situation either. So Resurrection is you know, doing good, and they will actually,
And it looks like they're gonna win the map.
Yeah, they will. Primal Rage is gonna be in the pain.
Gonna run out and then Sif
And
dies.
Hanji is gonna go ahead and run that torp just because. Oh my god.
He actually got a kill.
Got 2. That's how you win games, folks. If you just have 2 dives going at each other, just switch to torp, nobody will notice. But overall, we could say, I don't know what's...
Resurrection, I think Resurrection just had better communication.
Resurrection definitely had better communication, but the ult timing was very awkward. I would also say that in the long run, I did like the concepts of bringing out a command center, and I want to see more stuff like that from both sides, because like the thing is that while they did have great composition, they just kind of mirrored everything and just stuck with sort of textbook stuff. What we like about seeing from other teams is that how do they answer with their special thing? Because always on that team, somebody has that weird hero. Like the best thing I can explain is that when you're on Gibraltar against the Gladiators, Hydration pulls out that Doomfist, and that's their answer towards the meta. So stuff like that, if you see it with other teams, I would like to see that more from them, because that makes it harder to read them, because they're doing so much protocol stuff that everybody knows.
And really the only one that I could think of that really stuck out to me was GI Operations Widowmaker. And that's not and that was a hero he played all the time.
Well, I think Scythe was also a really good tank, and I really also enjoyed Cryptic and Hanji's Zenyatas. They were really good as well. I would say Poppy did nice Battle Mercy at the very last map, at the very last minute of it. But overall, I would say, you know, definitely the Widows were kind of like the highlights, but, you know, good stuff to everybody. And this is, of course, Scrim Nights, so we're all growing and learning together. And if you want to grow and learn, please come to Broadcast.gg. We have a Discord that has all the friends you could ever ask for. They're very kind, warm, and accepting folks. I feel welcome every time here. And if you want to see more amazing Scrim Nights, you could also see that at this very channel, Broadcast.gg, or is it Broadcast_GG? No, it's Broadcast.gg.
It's Broadcast.gg.
Broadcast.gg 2 is what we're on right now, but you could also check it out on the main channel as well, just Broadcast.gg. And special thanks to MoiraiOW for broadcasting as well. Special thanks to the teams for putting on a great show. Special thanks to Sunburster for being it's your first day of play-by-play, and I think you did a fantastic job, buddy. Hope you had fun.
Thank you. I think you were a great color commentator. I learned a lot from from your color commentary.
Oh my god, I'm gonna go cry now of that wholesomeness. But anyways, speaking of wholesomeness, you have a wonderful month, week, and year. And I know that wasn't the right order, but we'll see you guys next time in the broadcast script. See you guys then. Bye-bye.